Hello.
Welcome back. Our next guest is Ivo Vasilev. He's a visionary leader who has the ability to identify and motivate dynamic teams to build innovative products. He's the founder and CEO of Reloyalty, a mobile app that recognizes customers' loyalty based on their interactions and transactions with the places they visit every day. Previously, he's lived and worked in London, Sydney, Barcelona, and Buenos Aires, as well as two funds for risk capital, venture capital. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, everybody.
So hello.
Yeah, just to say that I'm in a really nice landscape view because my computer couldn't work out, but I guess that's going to be fine.
So where are you right now?
I'm in a place close to Plovdiv called Peroštica, which is really beautiful. You can see. Yeah, so I'm here.
Well, it looks great.
All right, let's get down to the questions. So my first one is, when did you know that you wanted to be in entrepreneurship and want to have a business of your own?
That's a very interesting one because the thing is, I'm not too sure I wanted to be an entrepreneur. That word kind of has a lot of connotations nowadays. But according to the meaning of the word is somebody who, use assets and resources to make more of these resources. So it's a very capitalistic word. I was not too sure that I wanted to be a capitalist from early age, although I definitely say that I'm one. But it was more of a, identifying things that I wanted to see working, like products. And basically, I had imagination of the world that it could work in a different way. I fell in love with the internet when I was 21, more or less. And basically, I saw inefficiency for back then. It was like a portal for students to find better things to do in the city when they basically start their student life. I was 21 years old, and I failed. Actually, I didn't manage to do that idea, but I kind of saw that this thing could actually work. And yeah, that's when it started. I was actually an international student in Argentina back then, and basically I had these problems that I saw that every one of my co-students had, and I thought that like the internet and basically the technology could actually solve them. Although I felt it kind of really got me this bug to think of these ideas and try them out. Basically, that was the way I started.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's great. Just can I ask you to hold the camera a bit further away from your face?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that we can see all of you. Great.
Cool.
And on to the next question is, we know you're in FinTech, and that's a big buzzword these days. So how would you explain FinTech in plain English so that everyone would be able to understand?
Yeah, it's all those things that became buzzword at some point. Now they're like the usual thing, like the mobile phone or putting our files on the cloud and all these things. At some point, were like really weird ideas. And I think fintech is just the next logical layer of all these internet and technology, basically evolutions. And what is fintech? Fintech is everything we do about our financial services, whether we pay somewhere, whether we take a loan, whether we basically do some savings, etc., do transfer internationally, all these kind of things that we are anyways doing for to live our lives. And right now technology can make a lot of these processes much more efficient. I mentioned transfers. Now we have a like really big European company called TransferWise, which is really like a delight to send international transfers. It's really simple, it's really easy, and it's really easy on the front, but on the back there are quite a few complex processes. And through these fintech solutions, fintech basically new technologies that can make process more efficient, like all the things that we do related to payments, transactions, like money overall, could be made really, really, really much faster, better. etc. So that's fintech. It's just the next evolution of the technology, which will play out in the way we deal with money and we deal with payments and transactions. So that's fintech. Like it's financial technology. So basically, technology that works on all our financially related activities.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that makes sense, but that's it.
No, it does. So then, can you briefly explain what problem Reloyalty solves and what technology you use?
Yeah. So Reloyalty is one of those companies that actually now sits on fintech, which is developed because like if you think the first fintech company, in my view, is like probably PayPal. PayPal is now, I don't know, 250 billion company. And they started with a simple idea that you can send money on the internet, which was right now is like a trivial thing. Like everybody, does it every day, and it's something that we're used to it. But like back then, it wasn't. And so for the last whatever 15 20 years there are a lot of these financial technologies which were built and we sit on top of them. Like Reload is actually a loyalty company. What we are trying to solve as a problem is that we as consumers, we as humans do a lot of transactions in the city. Like we go to a restaurant, we go to a coffee shop, we go to a barber shop, or big supermarket, or I don't know, something like Music Bricolage, where we buy our, DIY tools. And these transactions right now are very static. Like me as a consumer go somewhere and I pay the same price for the same product at the same place. Somebody else go there, they pay the same product, the same price, the same place, but we are not the same customers because we have different loyalty level. We basically go more often to that place. We basically recommend it to friends. A lot of these things, and right now, that is not part of the transaction. To make a personalization in who is the customer, are they different than the others, are they more loyal? So we want to put that as part of the transaction to measure loyalty and to give something back to the more loyal customers. The technologies we use right now is we actually integrated directly on the card payment. So basically, the card transaction becomes the measurement system. So whenever you pay with a card, your loyalty is measured automatically. That's thanks to a new open banking standard in Europe called open banking, or PSD2. And on the other hand, we give much more granular information to businesses to understand better their customers, to know who is their more slow customers, how much value they bring, and be able to kind of value them accordingly and keep them as customers. So that's what we do, and that's what the problem we solve.
Well, that all sounds great, and it's it sounds like a successful business in Bulgaria. And because we
Actually,
don't
it's not
have...
in Bulgaria, it's only in the UK right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we are not in Bulgaria yet. We used to be, and we freeze the market because we now sit on this PSD2 technology, which is, I guess, is available in the whole Europe, but it's obviously developing in certain stages. And at some point, we'll open Bulgaria again.
Mm-hmm.
So
So
yeah,
you are
so
planning to
it's
come
huge.
over?
Yes, we want to really, because it's our home market, and we want to use our product in our home market for sure.
That's great. Since we don't have much time, I'm going to ask you a final question, and it's going to be a broad one. What advice would you give to young entrepreneurs like ourselves here?
Mm-hmm. What advice? Like, first of all, it's like entrepreneurship shouldn't be something like a fashion, or like something you do because you think it's cool. It's because it's something that you identify as a whatever problem, opportunity, or something like it to jump into it. So you need to really ask why you're doing it in the first place. If you do it because of vanity or all these kind of non-right motivations, I would say it's wrong, and it's really tough, and you fail along the way. And if you don't have the right motivations, you definitely have a hard time doing it. That's one. So first of all, find your motivation and do it for the right motivations. And the right motivation is usually because you, as I said, identify the problem, saw some opportunity in the market, these kind of things. or you really want to kind of see something in the world that to exist that it doesn't at the moment. And the second thing is find the right people around you, because it's really not one-man show. You need to kind of find people who complement you, and do it as have a plan. Like know where you want to be in whatever, like 5 years, etc. Because otherwise, you just don't have a feedback of the market or life in general, of how well you're doing. Like, is the thing you started, progressing? Does it make you happy? Does it kind of move forward? Just have some benchmarks that you can identify and say, okay, I'm actually doing it properly, or I'm not, and be able to kind of be very honest with yourself of whether that thing goes or doesn't in the way you want it to go. That's probably my advice.
Mm-hmm. That's all sounds like great and useful advice. But since we have a little bit more time, I would like to ask you, why would a future entrepreneur start a business in Bulgaria? Would you recommend that, and how?
Yeah. I'm a big believer in Bulgaria. I actually spent about 9 years of my life abroad, and I came back here particularly because I saw that Bulgaria can be like a very important innovation hub and technology hub. We actually I'm pretty sure that we have a technology advantage to start a business here, which requires like a serious technology development. We have amazing talent related to programming and basically technology overall. So definitely that we have as an advantage. Obviously, being a small market, we need to kind of think of how to, expand our propositions abroad, distribute our products abroad, which makes it a little bit different and difficult, because obviously that requires sales from a small country to whatever market you're targeting, whether that's United States, Western Europe, or I don't know, even Asia. So all these sales skills, marketing skills, etc., which is something we're still developing, still not that great at, but we do have a very good technology advantage. So we actually can have very sophisticated technology products here, which are globally competitive. And if we learn how to distribute them well and how to do sales and marketing properly, we can actually create like global players, global winners in whatever space we're tackling. So that's really I believe in Bulgaria a lot. The technology sector specifically, it's something that will become very important part of the GDP and the whole kind of economy. That could be other businesses as well. Like, entrepreneurship is not only about technology, but generally try to find where you have really good advantage, starting it from here, and use that advantage to your benefit, because it's a really competitive market. Like, the global market and all these technology space or whatever space is really, really competitive. So you need to find a very kind of strong advantage, strong thing that we are better at. And in Bulgaria, there are quite a few of these things, and whoever starts, think that way. And Bulgaria is a beautiful place to start business right now. Other things are there, low capital, basically low taxes and these kind of things. But we do have a lot of our problems, of course, but generally it's a good place to start.
Yeah, well, thank you very much for the talk and for the inspiration.
Yeah, thank you so much. Next up, we're going to have today meet tomorrow in our little fireside chat. So, Ivo, thank you so much. And everyone else, stick around.
Yeah, thank you for joining us.
Cheers.
And next.
Have a good one.